Alright, Section C, Official Program and Accountability. Project Application Amendment to Procedure for the Federal State Programs Green Book administered by the Florida Department of Education 2015. Alright, Section C, Official Program and Accountability, Project Record. The property recipient shall maintain with you the project record of the to ensure the compliance with the program official requirements of the project, demonstrate the project accomplishment, and shall prepare all of the required reports. Recipients are responsible for determining all of the disbursement comply with the applicable law, regulations, state statutes, rules, policies, procedure, and program requirements regardless of the payment, the method assigned with the project award. Such records should include at a minimum project management records of the document with the personal equipment materials or of the reach of the project extent in which the activities was completed, scheduled as scheduled at the degree with the project objective, the other expected outcomes were obtained, the use of official control of official funding accounting procedure to ensure the proper disbursement of the accounting of the federal state funds. Official of the business record of all the document revenues received for the project and with amendments of the project, all the disbursement may be supported by adequate documentation include but not limited to invoices received of the payroll, contract time, and the attendance records of the paid checks. Other records will facilitate effective audit, bank statements, support and salary wages standard regarding the time of the distribution are in addition to the standard of the payroll documentation. See other issues, personal call at the time distribution in this section. Access such records shall be made available to duly authorized representative of the U.S. governmental agency, Florida Department of Education, Department of Financial Services, and the Auditor General of the State of Florida for the program. Official auditing and monitoring requirements related to the retention and access of the project and grant records determined by the federal and state laws, rules, and regulation. Federal Regulation Title II CFR 200-333. The address of the retention requirements for the records apply with all financial programmatic records supporting the documentation, statistical records, and all other non-entity records pertaining to the federal award. Any litigation claim, the audit is started with the expiration date of the retention period. The records must be retained until all litigation claims and audit findings involved with the records have been resolved with the final action taken. In Florida, general record schedule with the GSISL, the state local agency available at dos.myflorida.com, Library Archives, Record Management, General Record Schedule. Includes following requirements related with the grant recipients. The records here with the documentation administrative of the grant program and include with the application review, probably the expenditure of the grants to the entity by public agency that you file with them include, but are not limited to grant application notifications of the two applications award with the denial of the grant funds, the contracts, agreement, the grant status, narrative financial reports submitted to the recipient agency, supported documentation, grant cycle completion have not occurred until the reporting requirements are satisfied, final payments have been received for the grant cycle. In Florida, length of the retention of these records official 5 years for the completion of the project provided applicable audits have been released. Action for the records for the grantor and sub-grantors expiration of the right of the access is found with the Title II 200-336 AC with which states records for the non-federal entity of the federal award agency for the Inspector General, the Comptroller General of the United States pass through the entity of any of the authorized representative that must have the right act for the document and papers over the records of the non-federal entity which are pertaining with the federal award in order to make audits and examination experts for the experts and transaction transcripts. The right is also include the timely responsible action for the non-federal entity personnel for purpose of the interview and the discussion related with such documents. Expiration and C. Expiration of the right action for the right of access within this section are not limited to the required retention period, but will last as long as the records are retained. Alright, project reports. Project recipients shall prepare for the submit all of the reports required with the department in timely, accurate manner in accordance with the instructions approved by the project award, non-compliant with the final reporting guidelines made to delay with the current funding and to have the impact on the future funding. All disbursement state and federal funds must be necessary, reasonably allocable, and consistent with the policy procedure apply uniformly both of the federal and state with the accorded consistent with the treatment not to be included with the cost or used to meet cost sharing and matching requirements, be with the adequately documented allowed legal under financial problematic requirements for the operation or of the program, except whether authorized by statute. The cost must meet the criteria outlined in Title II CFR 200-403 in order to be allowable under federal awards, except for the state with the local governments. Any intra federal costs must be determined in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. All recipients of the recipient's project fund shall have to maintain legal copies of all invoice receipts, paychecks, bank statements, and timesheets if the applicable to any other documentation that will set Fourth, details sufficient for the proper pre-audit over the post-audit review. All recipients must written proceed with the determined allowability in accordance with subpart E of the cost principle of Title 2, Part 200, and the terms and conditions of the project award. Financial reports. All financial reports and expenditures must be consistent with an approved project with the performance of the deliverables and comply with the Department of Financial Services reference guide statement of expenditures available at myfloridacfo.com AADIR reference guide for state expenditure PDF. As required in the Title II CFR 204.15, the annual and final official reports of the voucher requesting payment of the project award must include the certification signed by the official who is authorized to legally bind the entity, which reads as follows: by signing this report, I certify with the best of my knowledge, believe that the report is true, complete with the accurate expenditure for the disbursement cash receipts, or for the purpose of the objective set forth in this term and condition of the federal award. I am aware of the false, fictitious, fraudulent information over the omission of any material fact may subject me to criminal and civil and administrative penalties for the fraud, false statement, and false claims, or otherwise. U.S. Code Title 18, Section 1001, Title 31, Section 3729, 3730, and 3801 through 3812. Funding methods. Non-federal funded projects. Non-federally funded projects that are appropriate with each fiscal year with a project award notification designate how funds are received that may be transmitted advance payment or a Q quarterly advance public S reimbursement for the performance P or other D. Final project disbursement reports. The Department of Education 399 must be submitted the original signature of the official who is legally authorized to bind the entity with the date specified with the project award notification complete with the detail of the accordance with the proof of the project budget with non-compliance with official financial reporting guidelines may have an impact on the future of the funding. Recipient must also attach the final Department of Education 399 report of refund check that any funds received that may be dispersed. An extension of state fund project must be based on the need for the conduct specific activities should the specified with the approved project. All extension must be approved with the Department Commissioner for the financial operation, his or her designee. Federal Cash Advance Project. Projects funded with the Federal Cash Advance allow the recipient to request cash as needed to pay for the outstanding obligation from the Cash Advance reporting disbursement system or cards. Expenditure of all projects in Federal Cash Advance should be reported using the cards. Adequate documentation must be maintained. Reported expenditure for deliverables stated. Approved project award activity reported directly and deliverable. The expenditure should be reported occur until the 20th of each month. The Cash Advance Reporting Disbursement System will be turned off at 11:59 on the 20th of each month for adjustment and updates for the statewide accounting system. Final project disbursement from the Department of Education 399, 499, or 599 must be submitted with the original signature of the official who is legally authorized to bind the entity with the date specified for the project award notification, complete with the detailed accordance with the proof of the project, non-compliant with the financial reporting guidelines, may delay the current funding and have an impact on the future funding and direct cost changes that must be reported with the fiscal year in which they are incurred. Payment type will be C. The project award with the and or disbursement supply with a more than one fiscal year breakout of the indirect cost charges by fiscal year must be indicated. Project recipients do not have the authority to report disbursement of the project award notification received. All financial report disbursement checks shall have the contained with the department's approve of the project number, the final project disbursement report, Department of Education 399, 399, 499, or the Department of Education Form 599 must have the original secretary official who is authorized to legally bind with the needed must be sent to the Department of Education Bureau with the Comptroller of the 914 Turlington Building, 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida 323990400. In accordance with the regulation that was outlined with the Cash Management Improvement Act, cash should be required with no more than 3 business days of the anticipated disbursement. Cash advance recipient must maintain with the demonstrated willingness to maintain both written proceed with the minimize the time elapsed between the transfer fund and the disbursement of the fund of the financial management system with the means for the standing of the fund control and accountability. Advance payments must be limited to minimum amounts needed to be timed in accordance with the actual immediate with the cash requirement of carrying out purpose of the approve of the program and the project advance payments shall, but it must be also come below administrative feasible to the actual disbursement. Title 2, 200, 305B. Federal Cash Advance Reconciliation Cash Advance for the reporting of the disbursement reconciliation. The Department of Education 026 reporting instruction will be sent to each agency that receives the federal cash advance at each of the end of the fiscal year. The form is used to reconcile with the cards to the agency for the cash on hand. The Department of Education Form 026 should be completed and signed and returned with the Department of Education Comptroller no later than November 1st of each year. Advance payment or state grants. Upon receipt of the project award notification, up to 25% may be advanced for the first payment period. To receive subsequent payments, at least 90% of the amount of the advance must be reported an expense for or on the Department of Education Form 399 form of the original signature of the official who the authorized legally bound by and supported with appropriate documents included but not limited to the deliverables as stated to approve of the project activity rewards that tie directly to the task performed or deliverables complete with a reporting period with a copy of the invoice, time sheet with the receipts, paid check with the bank statements for the demonstrator of the 90% of the expenditure for the previous period. Each report shall include an appropriate Department of Education Form 300 or 300 and 301, with each report submitted with a quarterly basement of the payment. The type of the will be Q. Quarterly advance of the public entity. For quarterly advance of non-federal funding with the state agency, local education agencies made in accordance with the General Operation Act, an initial advance will be applied with a quarter and in the project award notification issued and approved and signed with the receipt of the subsequent and prior to the quarterly payment of the detailed invoice activity report, task performed or deliverables complete with for the reporting period of state with and approved of the project must be submitted. The recipient must provide a Department of Education 399 with the final payment of requests attached to the refund check any of the fund received but not disbursed. Final Department of Education Form 399 must include with the signature of the official with the authorized to legally bind with the entity. The payment type will be S. Alright, the funding method may be with a unique specific project with the discretion of the Office of the Commission with the Grant Management and the Bureau. Comptroller terms for the payment is described with the project award notification. Department of Education Form 200 project number will include the payment code D with all disbursement reports must be supported by the appropriate documents but not included limited to deliverables of state approved project activity reports that tie directly with the task performed. The deliverables complete with a reporting period with a copy of the invoice, the timesheet with the receipt, the paycheck with the bank statement. Each report shall also include an appropriate Department of Education Form 301 and 300. As reported in the Department of Education 399 with an original signature of the official of the authorized legally binding entity. Reimbursement with the performative payments made upon submission of the invoice along with the appropriate reporting form of the Department of Education 399, 499, or 599 with original signature of the official with the authorized legally binding entity with the support of the appropriate documentation include but not limited to the deliverables and state of the approved project with the activity report tied directly with the task performed. Deliverables, copies of the invoice, times, receipts, paid checks on the or bank statements. Each of the report shall include with the appropriate Department of Education Form 300 and 301. These reports shall be submitted monthly, and the payment type will be P. Alright, working capital advancement activities of the Title II for the 200, 305B. 4. The Department provides certain private and non-profit organization, normally community-based. Faith-based organization with a payment of option known as the working capital advance. For the type of advance only be considered the department to determine the reimbursement of the non-feasible because of the either lack sufficient with work capital proceed with the conditions such advances are described below. Procedures. Certain sub-grantors are criteria below. The authorization receipt of the working capital advance for the basis of the project payrolls is for the amount of the project payroll, the advance of the lump sum with the initial 2 months of the project period with the basis of the approval of the project budget, salaries, and benefits. At the end of the first month's actual payroll, with the documentation subgrantor will be submitted with the reimbursement request of the 10% of the amount required with the deducted from the monthly reimbursement request of the payment. Same method will be applied to all of the subsequent reimbursement required with advance of them repaid with the full of the reimbursement required with not limited, not submitted at least monthly. The larger amount with the maybe deducted repayment all at the end of the project period with advance and the actual expenditures will be reconciled. All other expenses reimbursed in accordance with the Department of Procedure for the payment. Periods will be monthly for all the types of the expenditures with the exemption of the first working capital advance. There will be for a 2-month period. Any failure to adhere with the monthly schedule or any situation with the subgrantor fail with the expend advance for the timely manner may result in the department returning the subgrantor to with the reimbursement only method or payment. Criteria for determining eligibility working capital advance. In order to qualify for the participation working capital advance payment option, subgrantor must have submitted the application for the current year funding and official request for the working capital advance payment option in the Department of Education Form 960. Participated in the program or another Department of Education grant program for at least one fiscal year with no significant disallowed costs. Submitted current current financial statement with its application. Provided evidence with a line with credit equal to the projected payroll costs for 2 months or a performance bond an equivalent month. To approve the working capital advance, the Department of Education Comptroller verify the subgrant for the compliance with the required official reporting. Bureau of Contracts Grant Procurement Management Service to verify the subgrantor for the complete with the Department of Education mandatory grant official training with the considered high-risk grantor based on risk management program that is subject to the ongoing audit with their investigation. Appropriate Department of Education program offer to verify that the entity is serving the eligible population. Program costs are generally allowable to the entity the regular meeting to establish for the performance exemptions. Final disbursement report from the non-government receiver the project recipient of submit with one legal copy of the report of the project disbursement reform in the $399, $499, or $599 bearing an original signature of the official for the authorized with the legally binding with the department by the 20th of each month following with a month of disbursement for the reimbursement of the project. The department informed 399 shall be due to the project disbursement reporting on all federal state projects except for the federal state reporting requirement of necessities that you with a special purpose form to collect the information unique to the program. Department of Education 499 shall be due with the project disbursement reporting for the audit adult education program. The Department 599 shall be due with the project disbursement reporting for all adult and youth migrant programs. Report shall be not reflect multi-month disbursement. All reports corresponding shall be included with the Department of Education approved project number. The disbursement state and federal funds must be responsible and necessary allowable legal for operation of the program. Standard 8.5 by 11. The computer printouts will be acceptable with prior approval of the comptroller's office of control. Completed forms required with supporting documentation shall be sent with the Department of Education Bureau of the Comptroller 914 Turlington Building 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida 32399-0400. Any amendment of this adjustment of the disbursement report previously submitted to the department must be submitted with a V for the supplemental report. Adjustments or corrections by the entry of the column 8 and unreported disbursements will increase the reduced amount period of the column 6 on the previous disbursement report. Do not submit a report to replace a report that already received by the department. Project recipients shall submit the final financial report with the reimbursement of the project with the date specified with the project award. Notification not complying with the financial reporting may delay current funding or have an impact on the future funding of the state grant programs. Require all advance funds unexpected at the end of the project period to be returned to the department with the final financial report. All financial reports reimbursement checks should include the Department of Education approved project number. Reimbursement with a performance request should be made with the applicable project disbursement report, a detail of the seller expenditure form, the Department of Education 300, detail of the monthly transaction form, Department of Education 301. In accordance with the instruction, each form of the cost of reimbursement situation does not exist. As all funds have been disbursed, including incurring liability obligation on encumbrance for the non-accounts for the reimbursable situation. Alright, deliverables are stated with the proof of the project activity report with the task performed with the deliverable legal copies for all the invoice with the receipt set forth with the detail of the patient for the property pre-audit with the post-audit review shall be submitted with the reimbursement packet. The addition with the documentation shall be the timesheet with the paycheck with the bank statement that may be required. The invoice and that need the detail of the Form DO Department of Education 300 and 301 should correspond with the agency the accounting code listed on the app of the project disbursement report and approved. Budget. This requirement applies to all the projects unless specifically exempted by the Department of Education Comptroller. All claims must be the direct cost of the program unless they approve of the indirect cost allocation plan on file with the Department of Comptroller's office. All expenditure report corresponding to documentation are reviewed with the Comptroller's office to forward with the program manager. If the program manager approve of the reimbursement required with the Department of Education Form DFSO-02, certify that the expenditure are in compliance with the deliverables or state within an approved project. Reimbursement package checklist. The appropriate Department of Education 399, 499, or 599 project disbursement report shall be reviewed prior to the submission to ensure that Agency with the name of the program name, approval, determination date, total project dollars are listed on the top of the form at lines A through H and correspond with the information listed in the Department of Education Form 200. Contact information for the organization official representative of the line J is included with an interim report with the final report box is marked. Description of the disbursement column 3 listed every category corresponding with the project budget narrative. Budget amount column 4 total equals the total project dollars. The total disbursement column 5 show the sum of which what has already been reported plus what is being requested for the current package into the SL date. On disbursed balance column 6, the difference between the budget amount column 4 and the total disbursement column 5. Non-reported disbursement column 7 indicates the expenditure that are being submitted into the reimbursement package for the total amount and sum of all line items and equal to the total amount of the Department of Education 300 and 301s in the package. The total count of columns 5 and 6 should equal the total of column 4 and the total project dollars. Report number indicated the invoice package that is being submitted. Reporting bearing the original signature officially legally authorized to bind the ETNI. Original signed report is placed on the top of the page. If the Department of Education detail the salary expenditures should be reviewed to verify only salaries and federal insurance contribution acts or FICA contribution are listed. The position listed on the budget area for each employee, but the percentage of the time is listed. The amount claimed on the column is correctly totaled. Supporting documentation should include payroll, registered check stubs, show gross pay, employer's portion of the Federal Insurance Contribution Act contributions. Timesheet of the personally active of the report over all employees that are not 100% funded for this project. Copies of the paycheck and bank statements. Department of Education Form 301 detail of the monthly transaction list all of the expenditures, including employee benefits from the Federal Insurance Contribution Act contribution. Account numbers shall be correspond with the object codes of the list of the budget narrative. Prior to submitting the payment, the club grantor shall be verified with the accuracy of the number of dates, total amount of purchase request amount of the portion being charged, the project request amount of the column total. Support documentation shall include a complete copy of the invoice receipt with a breakdown of how request amount was collected, if not 100%. Copy of the contract and agreement for all contractual services. Items related with the field trips must include lesson plan and justification for the trip, as well as attendance listed from the trip. All travel-related expenses that must have the Department of Education Form C676. C. Travel form. Each traveler signed by the traveler and his supervisor. A printed map of the commutation mileage such as the official state with a road map issued by the Department of Transportation available through websites, a copy of the agenda of the meeting, copy of the receipts, hotel, rental car, gas tolls, etc., copies of paychecks and bank check statements. Program reports. Program recipients shall submit all periodic final reports as required by the program manager for the specified of the project award notification and request for a proposal or the request for application. Or recipients report of the program manager for the project of the outcome of the project with the describe of the proof of the project. The department will monitor the progress of the project, meeting with the performance expectation completion of the deliverables used with the standard project performance accountability for the reporting requirements forms as defined. As provided in the request for proposal, the request for application, and the submitted with the application for the department form of the project command performance accountability and the reporting measure project performance within these categories of tasks, specific activities that are required to perform to complete with the project, scope of the work program, the design, narratives of the goals and objectives that will be accomplished, deliverable the project and serve the directly related tasks specified by the scope of the work. The deliverables must be quantifiable, measurable, and verifiable. Deliverables most cases there are events for the trigger payments of the verification of the services must be rendered in accordance with the grant project requirement, due date, data for the completion of the task, performance of the goal of the target, the level of the performance expressed with the tangible, measurable object against the actual achievement that can be can be compared, included with the goal expressed with the quantitative standard of the value or rate. Title 2 276. Performance measures recipient subsequent required to relate with the financial data with the performance accomplishment with the when applicable. Must also provide a cost information demonstrating the cost effect of the practice of the Title 2 200 301. Form of the metric measures may be identified as specific quantities, tasks performed, deliverables completed, which are used to access recipient and sub-recipient performance level of accomplishment. Financial consequence. Project must include the specific language outlining when the consequences would apply with the recipient and sub of the recipient not performed to reach the specified with the requirement. Performance or metric measure that indicate with the award project the often indicate with the payment that will be reviewed for the withheld with the non-performance. The agreement that must include the specified methodology for the payment reduction. Some projects require the obtainment of the independent formal third-party evaluation. Other projects that elect for the obtainment of the evaluation proposal of the applicant includes the required the optional third-party evaluation department. Formal third-party evaluation include the request for proposal, request for application must be used. Audits and monitoring project grants awarded with the Florida Department of Education to the sub-recipient will be subject to audits for the monitoring with the department as follows. Audits federally funded program, the part of the applicable, the recipient of the state, local government, or a non-profit organization defined in Title 200 subpart F. In the event the recipient expends $7,500,000 more than a federal award, official year the recipient must have a single audit of the program, specific audit conducted in accordance with the provision Title 2, Part 200, Subpart F, if all applicable federal regulation audit shall be conducted by an independent auditor in accordance with the generally accepted government accounting auditing standards covering the financial audit Title 2 CFR 200, Subpart F. Determining federal awards applied, awards expended within the official year of the recipient shall consider the scope of the federal awards, including federal resources received from the Department of the determination amount of the federal awards expended should be in accordance with the guidelines established in Title 2 CFR 200-502. An audit with the recipient conducted by the Auditor General in accordance with the Division Title 2 CFR 200 Subpart F. Audit requirements will require requirements for this part. 2. In connection with the audit requirements of the recipient shall also fulfill the requirements related to the auditor responsibility for the provided with the Title 2 CFR 200-508 and 200-512. Or recipient expended less than $750,000 federal awards in the official year and audit conducted in accordance with the provision Title 2 CFR 200 subpart F is not required. In the event the recipient expends less than $750,000 federal awards in an official year with the elects to have the audit conducted in accordance with the provision Title 2 CFR 200 subpart F, then the cost of the audit must be paid from the non-federal resources. The cost of such and the audit must be paid with the recipient result of the obtained with the federal entities or state-funded programs. This part is applicable to the project recipient and the state with the entity defined in Section 215-97-2 of the Florida statute. In the event of the project recipient expended with the total amount of the state financial assistance equal to or excess of the $500,000 official year, the recipient must have the state single with the audit's project significant audit for the official year of the accordance Section 215-97 of the federal Florida statute. Applicable to the rule of the Department of Financial Assistance for the chapters 10-550 local government entities and 10-650 non-profit or for-profit organization rule for the Auditor General determining state financial assistance expended with the official year of the recipient shall consider all of the course of the state financial assistance, including state financial assistance received by the Department of Education or the state agency with the other non-state entities. State financial assistance does not include federal direct or pass-through with awards per resource received by non-state entity for federal program matching requirements. 2. In connection with the audit requirements above of the project recipient shall ensure that the audit comply with the requirements of Section 215-97-8 Florida statute. This includes submission financial reporting package defined in the title of Section 215-97-2 with the Florida statute, Chapter 10-550 local government entities and 10-650 non-profit and for-profit organization rules of Auditor General. Alright, if the project recipient expends less than $500,000 state financial assistance with the official year with the audit conducted in accordance with the provision Section 215-97 of the Florida statute is not required in the event of the recipient expends less than $500,000 in the state of the financial assistance official year and elects to have an audit conducted in accordance with the provision Section 215-97 of the Florida statute. The cost of the audit must be paid from the non-state entities reached for the cost of such the audit must be paid from the project recipient resource obtained for the non-state entities. Pursuant to Section 215-97-8, Florida statute, state agencies may conduct a range of audits for the state financial assistance. There, in addition to audits conducted in accordance with Section 215-97 of the Florida statutes. In such event, the state awarded agency must arrange for funding for full cost such audited additional audits. Alright, reports to be submitted. The copy of the reporting package for the audits connected in accordance with Title 2 CFR 200, subpart F, such that shall be submitted with the Title 2 CFR 200-512 by or behalf of the recipient directly each of the following: Florida Department of Education, Bureau of Contractor Grant Procurement Management, Service at the 344 Turlington Building, 325 West Canyon Street, Tallahassee, Florida 32399. 0400 Florida Department of Education Program Office for the draft statement of the project award notification. Federal Audit Clearinghouse and Title 2 CFR 200 subpart F required for the auditor electronic submit of the data collection form described in 205-112B and the reporting package described in 205-12C. to the Florida Audit Federal Accounting Clearinghouse at harvestcensus.gov, Federal Audit Clearinghouse, ES, and then account and login. Copy the financial reporting package was submitted on behalf of the recipient directly to each of the following: Florida Department of Education Bureau Contract and Grants and Procurement Management, Service 344 Turlington Building, 325 West Canyon Street, Tallahassee, Florida 323990400. Florida Department of Education Program Office for the address stated for the project award notification. Auditor General Office 401 Pepper Building, 111 West Madison Street, Tallahassee, Florida 323991450. Copy of the reports and management letters shall be submitted on the behalf of the recipient directly to the Florida Department of Education Bureau Contract Grants Procurement Management, Service 344 Turlington Building, 325 West Canyon Street, Tallahassee, Florida 323990400. Florida Department of Education Program Office, the address stated for the project award notification. Respond to the request of the federal agency. Auditors must submit with the copies of the management letters issued by the auditor entitled 2 CFR 200-512E. Any reports, management letters, or other information required to be submitted to the Department of Education pursuant to the agreement to be submitted timely according to Title 2 CFR 200 subpart F of the Florida Statute, Chapter 105550. Local government entity with the 650 nonprofit and for-profit organization over the Auditor General applicable. Recipients submitting the financial reporting package for the Department of Education for audits complete within according to Title 2 CFR 200 subpart F or Chapter 10-550 local governmental entities or 10-650 nonprofit and for-profit organization. Rules for the Auditor General should be indicate with the date of the reporting package was delivered to the recipient in accordance with accompanying the reporting package. Audit reports and project recipient of the total of the $750,000 more fiscal year with the funds or $500,000 more fiscal year with the state funds must provide with the Department of Education Bureau with a contract grant procurement and management serve with a copy of the annual audit report completed, certified public accountant or Florida Auditor General in accordance with the Title 2 CFR 200 subpart F of the Florida Single Audit Act, Section 21597 of the Florida Statute. Failure to submit audit reports will jeopardize the recipient's funding. Each agency must submit the audit report with the due date with the compliance with the audit requirements for the consider the non-compliance with the state with the federal requirements of the Bureau to achieve with the contract with the grants, procurement, and management service to notify the respective recipient, controller, and the amount of the appropriate Department of Education program direct for the non-compliance determine the non-awards will be issued for the aim with the recipient not in compliance with the audit requirements. If the responsible at each of the program director notify the appropriate personnel his or her area when project recipient is non-compliant with the audit requirements. When the project recipient is deemed to be non-compliant, all funding of the department will be terminated until the non-compliance is corrected. When eligibility funding is restored by the Bureau of the Chief of the Contracts, Grants, and Procurement and Management Service to notify of the respective recipient comptroller of the appropriate program director of the responsible each program director of the notify of the appropriate personnel within his or her area. In addition, a review of the audit and audits conducted in accordance with Section 2 CFR 200 Part 200 subpart F of Section 21597 of the Florida Statute monitoring procedure may include but are not limited to on-site and visits of the department staff with limited scope and audits for the other pursuant to the federal regulation 200 CFR 200-328A require the department oversee the operation of the grant, sub-grant of their supported activities as just the department's monitoring such departments must monitor grant, sub-grant supported activities and ensure the compliance with the applicable federal requirements and ensure that the performance goals are achieved by entering into this agreement, the project or grant. The recipient agrees to comply with the cooperate with any monitoring procedure process for the deemed appropriate by the department. In the event of the department to determine the limited scope of the audit of the recipient is appropriate, the recipient agrees to comply with additional instruction provided with the department staff to the recipient regarding such audit. The recipient further agrees to comply with the cooperate with any inspection reviews, investigations, audits deemed necessary by the chief financial officer or auditor general. Disbursement. All disbursements reported within compliance with the applicable laws, rules, regulations, statutes, rules, policies, pursuant to the program requirements and Florida Department of Education Financial Services reference guide for state expenditures available at myfloridacfo.com, AARDIR, reference guide for state expenditures PDF. To ensure the expenditures are properly in accordance with the terms and conditions of the approved budget, all financial reports, vouchers, requests for the payment of a project award must be included with the certification, original signature, official, authorized, legally binding entity, which reads is filed by signing with the report, certified with the best of the knowledge, belief that the report is true, with the complete, with the accurate, and the expenditure for the disbursement of the cash received for the purpose of the objectives set forth in the terms and conditions of project award. I am aware that any of the false, fictitious, fraudulent information of the omission of any material fact that may subject to criminal, civil, and administrative penalty for the fraud, false statement, of false claim, or otherwise. Official adjustment, credit adjustment, or reported reduction of the expenditure of the following procedure for the described with the appropriate methodology for the corrective action. Federal cash advance project entitlement. The entitlement project with the project recipient of the decree for the expenditure of the cards of the project number of the corrective action pertaining when the project is closed. The recipient of the decree for the expenditure reported in cards of the current project number. Federal cash advance project discretionary. If the project opened in private liquidation with the date with the recipient of the decree for the expenditure for the report of the card of project number which of the corrective action pertaining to the project closed within part of the liquidation or past the liquidation date, the recipient should submit the supplemental report on appropriate form 399, 499, or 599 to decree for the expenditure for the closed project with the owens review of the grant accountant will be object open to project and cards manually post the decree for the expenditures of the agency will then be asked if the project to remove the excess of the cash advance in another current project. Reimbursement in advance of the payment project, the recipient must submit with a supplemental project disbursement reform report on the appropriate Department of Education Form 399, 499, or 599 to increase expenditure for the project with an attached refund check made with the paid available to Florida Department of Education, mailed to the Department of Education Comptroller Office at addressed below. Questions regarding the project status should be addressed to the Department of Education Bureau of Comptroller, 914 Turlington Building, 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida 323990400 850250401. Indirect costs and administrative costs. Indirect costs are defined in Title 2 CFR 200-414. Indirect financing F&A. Costs. School District of Florida Department of Education have the given authority for the Department of Education to negotiate indirect cost proposal to approve the indirect cost rate for the school district. School district is not required to develop the indirect cost proposal, but if they fail to, they will not be allowed to recover the indirect cost of the amounts for the GO. The maximum negotiated rate may be approved for the project, program, or project of the Department of Education Control. The indirect shall only apply with the federal project for the additional information forms available. Florida Department of Education.org, Comptroller, state and local state agency, local government in India, tribal governments on university colleges or the non-government agency. The department will allow the state with a university, state college, private college, university, and non-governmental agencies charge any indirect cost of administrative or overhead to the 8% up to 8% of the agency's restricted rate or by the appropriate cognizant agency, whichever is lower. The rate may be charged with a total direct cost burst of less than amount of the subcontract excess of $25,000 stipulated for the tuition related fees. Items, equipment, alteration, renovation flows through with the funds for the pass through with another any item of the project that the issue with the department. The rate is intended to be all inclusive of the typically administrative overhead costs included but not limited to rent, official space for the bookkeeping and accounting service, the utility, alternative. The department will approve of the indirect cost of 8% plus the direct charge of the typical administrative of the overhead costs such as the office space for the rental, which office costs can be directly appropriately allocated with the program to recover the indirect costs of the 8% agency fee. When the school district must furnish the Department of Education Comptroller a copy of the current negotiated restricted indirect cost plan that has been approved with an appropriate cognizant agency. Amount of 8% of the maximum negotiated rate may be approved with the program project for the Department Comptroller for the agency must have indirect costs actually the 8% limited may not be directly charged directly to satisfy matching costing requirements and charged to another federal award. Indirect costs should not only apply to federal projects. Indirect costs versus the direct cost of the administrative and clerical staff of L2 200-413C. Salaries administrative and clerical staff should normally be treated as indirect financial and accounting costs of the direct charge of these accounts may be appropriate only if the following conditions are met. And 1. Administrative clerical service is integral to the project activity. 2. Individuals involved can be specifically identified within the project area activity. 3. Such costs explicitly include with the budget have the prior written approval of the federal award agency. And 4. The cost for the is not required as indirect costs, administrative fees, or non-federal funds. An administrative fee may be provided by the Department of Education Department for the non-federal projects not exceeding 5% of the total cost of the project. Restriction of funds under administration. Restricted the amount of percent that can be charged to the project administration, which includes indirect costs, will be specified on the request for proposal, request for application reflective of the approval of the project award, notification, or an amendment approval when applicable. Limitation, recovery, and administrative costs. There are three major limitations affecting most of the administrative costs, but may be recovered. No indirect costs are available only on federal funds. These limitations are as follows. Negotiated rate with the department, the maximum allowable the indirect cost of the rate from 0 to the maximum must be approved. May be approved with the project and the project with the Department of Education comptroller. Federal or state law or grant conditions may limit the amount of the indirect cost or indirect cost rate. For example, the recipient restricted rate of 5% of the law allows only a 3% rate for the recovery. Then the recipient can recover only the indirect costs equal to 3% of the direct costs. Grant terms and conditions may also exist on some of the federal awards that prohibit any of the recovery indirect costs. Recover the indirect cost of the project subject to the availability fund must restrict the grants allocated with the shape of the block grant with each of the recipients entitled with the maximum project amount. Total direct cost of plus the indirect cost cannot exceed the maximum entitlement. Indirect costs recovered only with the extent of the direct costs incurred with the indirect costs rated if they apply with the direct amount with expended not of the project award not recovered with the indirect costs may be due to the local matching funds and the matching funds are required, assuming the total of the indirect costs incurred plus actual direct expenditure exceed the total amount available to the recipient. If the project is match fund project, then X if not recovered indirect costs may be used as part of the matching funds. Other issues. The Davis-Bacon Act is amended in Title 40 U.S. Standard Code 276, a 10th sequence. When required by the federal program legislation, all construction contracts award recipient, sub-recipient success of $2,000 should include the provision compliant with the Davis-Bacon Act, Title 40 U.S. Standard Code 276, a 10th sequence, supplement with the Department of Labor Regulation, Title 29 CFR Part 5, Labor Standard Provision applicable to contracts covering federal finance and assisted construction. Under this act, the contractor should be required to pay wages of laborers, mechanics at a rate not less than the minimum wage. It is specified by the wage determination made by the Secretary of Labor. In addition, the contract should be required to pay wages not less than once a week, and the recipient shall place a copy of the current prevailing wage determination issued by the Department of Labor each solicitation award of the contract. In addition to the acceptance of the wage determination, the recipient should report suspected reported violation of federal award agency of the Department of Labor Regulation rules and instructions concerning implementation of the Davis-Bacon Act or other laws found in Title 29 CFR Part 1, 3, 5, 6, and 7. Equipment property. All tangible personal property with a value of the cost of $1,000 or more have the projected life of 1 year or more should properly within property for inventory per purpose for the rules chapter 691I 69I 72 Florida Administrative Codes. For complete physical inventory, all property must be taken at least once each fiscal year. Small attractive items of the purchase value less than $1,000 are classified as equipment. Technological items and supplies must be safeguarded. Recipients should have the written policy on how the items will be tracked and accounted for. Agencies with a policy recording tangible personal property inventory purchases with a threshold less than $1,000 shall file with their policy. Upon termination of the project, the decretion of the department, all proper equipment and property purchased for the project funds will be transferred to the location specified for the department in all necessary action. Transfer ownership and record of the equipment and property department and to next need will be taken. Alright, 5. Food only apply with the district school boards other than travel-related meals. Section 1143.2 with the AG with the Florida statute provide with the use of federal funds to purchase food when the federal program guidelines permit such use. Change the level of the expenditures of food in the federal program such that the program allows it and the district has adopted an appropriate policy to state with the legislation requirement. Expenditure of the food must be included with the budget form of the program narrative submitted with the department for approval of the copy of the district adopted policy and procedures. Interest income is required in Section 216, 181.16b, Florida Statute Title 2, CFR Part 200-305-9, Project Grant, recipient shall remit or annual basis interest earned with a cash advance. The Department of the payment should be submitted to the Department of Education Bureau of the Comptroller, 914 Turlington Building, 325 West Gaining Street, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399-0400. Mandatory disclosure. Recipients must disclose in a timely manner written the department all violation of federal criminal law involved with fraud, bribery, gratitude violations. Additionally, effective federal project award, federal to make required disclosure can resolve the remedies described in Title 2 CFR 200-338. Personal costs and time distribution. Chain of the project, federal project, personal costs starts with the salary, wages, treated with the direct with the indirect costs allowed with the extent of those satisfied with the specific requirement. Part 200-430 will be based for the payroll, documented in accordance with the generally accepted practice of the local educational agency. Approved responsible official of the local education agency when employees work solely on single federal award or cost objective to the charge of the salary, wages must be supported by periodic certification, at least semi-annual, with the employee with the work solely on the program period covered by the certification. The certification must be signed, dated by the employee, supervisor, or official having the first-hand knowledge over the work performed by the employee. When the employee work on a multiple activity, cost activity, more than one federal award, non-federal award, and indirect cost activity, direct cost activity, two or more indirect activities allocated due to different allocation bases are unable activity, direct and indirect cost activity, distribution, salary, or wages will be supported by the personal activity reports, equivalent documents that meet the following standards, reflect an after the fact distribution of actual activity of each employee. Account for the total activity for which each employee is compensated. Be prepared at least monthly and must coincide with one or more pay periods. Be signed and dated by the employee. U.S. Department of Education has approved for use in Florida substitute system on the allocation salary of the federal project unit of the substitute system. The personal activity reporting system, or PARS, may be implemented with the school district so long as implemented in accordance with the Department of Education approved substitute system. The documentation is available upon request for the Department of Bureau Contract Grants and Procurement Management System. When school districts use the substitute system, variations allowed with specific written authorization from the Florida Department of Education. School district choosing not to use the approved substitute system must implement a system that meets the requirement of Title 2 CFR 200. School district choosing to use the Department of Education substitute system must furnish for the Department of Education Comptroller Office of the District Policy Procedure and specify the reporting months as well as the actual time reporting instrument for approval for each district. Given an authorization to adopt the substitute system, written approval agreement will be in effect with the duration district participation in the substitute system until such time required for the change of the Department of Education. No, this does not authorize school districts to consolidate administrative funds except for the otherwise stated the project award notification or even the term use teams as base for the allocating personal cost of the methods of applying only to the department. Alright, procurement and suspension of the department. Under federal regulations, club guarantees cannot make any awards, subgrant contract, any tariff, any other part of the bar. It is suspended, otherwise excluded with the ineligible participation. Federal assistance program, federal regulation, Title 2, CFR Part 180. 7 Title 70, Federal Register 51863 requires all of the contracts of the boards expected to exceed $25,000 entered into the non-federal entity with the verified to ensure that the recipient does not exclude with the receipt of the federal monies because of their suspended or disbarred. Subsection D, general assurance the term of the condition for the participation in federal state program. For additional information, all federal regulations concerning the debarred suspended parties that include those located in Title 2 CFR Part 180 must be filed. Promotional items such as the non-limited to printed pencil with taste if not allowable, but expensive for the program, specifically statutory regulatory authority. Such items written and requests for approval that must be submitted in citing authority. Recipients and sub-recipients must obtain written approval of the Department of Education prior to purchase of any promotional items. All recipients and sub-recipients must have document of the procurement policy, the procedure to meet the requirement of federal, state statute, rules, regulation under uniform administrative requirements, procurement standards, located in Title 2 CFR 200-317 through 200-326. Risk analysis. All recipients of the federal state funded project awards must submit to the appropriate Department of Education Form 610. Risk analysis for the school district, state, college, universities, or the Department of Education Form 620. Form risk analysis, government, private entities, profit, non-profit organization. Submission approval of the form must be completed for each official each state fiscal year prior to the project award being issued. An original signature of the agency head is required of the agency head to file the official legal authorized to bind the entity, superintendent for the school district of the president, chairperson of the board of the other agency, supplement of the non-supplement, supplement. Whoever the specified authorizing law, regulation, implementation of the laws, federal funds must be generally be increased to the extent of the practical level of non-federal law non-federal funds that must be available in the absence of the federal funds. In no case reply for the non-federal funds. Alright, the Stevens Amendment of the federally funded project that must comply with the Stevens Amendment of the Department of Defense Appropriation Act of Section 8136. When issuing a statement of the press release required for the proposal of the bid, solution of the document describing the project and program funded within the whole and on the part of the fund federal money, all grantees receiving the federal funding will include but not limited to state local governments shall clearly state that the percent of the total cost of the program project will be financed with federal money. 2 of the dollar amount of the federal funds for the project over the program. 3 of the percent of the dollars amount of the total cost of the project and program that will be funded by non-governmental sources. Alright, travel. The recipients of the recipient performed in connection with and approve of the project activities being compliant with the Section 112.061 Florida statute cover the period deemed allowable to travel expense with the Florida Department of Education travel manual available at FloridaDepartmentOfEducation.org, core file part parase travel manual PDF. Section 121.061 Florida statute applicable county office of the district, school board, special districts, metropolitan planning organization established statutory authority of otherwise specified any with established travel reimbursement rates other than those established by Section 112.061. 6A, 6B, and 7D of the Florida statute. Each of them must comply with the accordance with the statute, include with the project application of the applicable document and the ordinance resolution policy or rule that have the detailed description of the project budget form. Section D, general assurance terms and conditions of participation in federal state programs.